looking at the latest data, looking at what we saw from the ONS today, it's the economic inactivity of those who are on long-term sick or long-term sickness that I think is most interesting. One of the things that was spoken about a lot last year was, we've got these people over 50 or over 55 that have decided they no longer want to work, they want to take retirement early, they got a nice break during the pandemic, they got to work from home and they kind of reevaluated their life. But actually, if we look at the stats, we've seen a real steep increase in the amount of people claiming long-term sick. Now, it's not all COVID, but there obviously is a correlation between the amount of people that are now on long-term sick and the amount of people before the pandemic, and the way in which things like long COVID may have played into that. And also, we've also got the pressures on the NHS. So all of us know, I've got a family member who had to rely on the NHS recently and was in A&E for 17 hours. It's not just frontline services like A&E that are struggling, but we know there's huge backlogs and waiting lists, which means there may be people that could otherwise be in work but are waiting for consultant appointments or doctor's appointments or mental health appointments. So it's interesting to see how this economic inactivity is feeding into the issues we're seeing with the NHS and how health really is wealth in those terms. So what that kind of poses for the government moving forward this year is, how do they address this long-term sick problem? Because it's not just that these people aren't in the workplace, but a lot of them will be claiming benefits as well, so putting some pressure on the welfare state. Now, a lot of these people will never be able to work again, but there may be people that want to work but can't because they're unwell. So, one of the huge policy considerations we are going to see is, how do we tackle the crisis facing the NHS?